We are here today to talk with Ashley Pearson of ashleypagepearson.com to talk about her journey with SEO and how she's worked through the process and how she's progressed with it in her business. Ashley was in our second cohort of our mastermind, and she's made a lot of changes, a lot of shifts. She originally came in with 2 sites, and I tell you guys all the time that SEO is a skill. You can use it 1 site, 2 site, 3 site, 4. Once you learn it, you learn it. So she originally came in with 2 sites, and it's funny, even before we went live, I was like, well, which one are we talking about? Because I know she works both of them. So I'm going to let Ashley tell you about her journey, tell you about what she's done, and tell you about, how it's helped with not just 1, but 2 sites. So Ashley, first by start by, introducing yourself, telling us what you do, and what you're getting down.
All right. Cool. Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Page Pearson, and I'm an author, a personal development consultant, and a highly sensitive women specialist. And I work with highly sensitive women, teaching them how to go from highly sensitive to highly significant through confidence coaching, self-celebration, and mindset inspirations. So, in a nutshell, I help women transform their lives to get to where they want to be, to get from one point to the next. And that's my core business. Like Akila said, I did come in with 2 business models or 2 websites. My second site was a home decor store, and I was using that as a second stream of income for my core business. But as I was in the group, I started doing a little bit of research and found this huge open area of women and people that were looking to be served, and I didn't see a huge market for it. So kind of shifted everything, and I started focusing heavily on the highly sensitive women.
I love that, and we're definitely going to talk about how you found that huge open area, because I tell people my story all the time of how I got to Online Boutique Source is because I did the research. So we'll talk about that. But first, before we talk about that, let's go back. Let's take it back a little bit. What made you want to start working on SEO? What made you think that SEO was something that you needed to invest your time and your money, and what made you want to get working on it?
Well, I had a little bit of a history with SEO. So I learned about it back in 2008. And I did a few niche sites, but I let it go. I let life get in the way and stop me, and I let it go. But it was always in the back of my mind. I knew the power of being found on Google, and I knew what that meant as far as attracting your ideal client that's already out there looking for you. So I found you, Akila, in one of the groups that we're in together, and you were talking about SEO, and it just started sparking so many memories for me. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm focusing a whole lot on social media. I know that Google is out there and people are looking for certain services. I know the power of SEO because I was in groups back in 2008, and I saw this repeatedly, people using their keywords and research and niche marketing. And so I knew the power of it, and I knew it could shift everything for an entrepreneur like me. Instead of having to go out there and hunting down people every single day, they find me. So that's why I got started.
Good. I love that. 2008, I think I was getting started around with SEO at the time too. One of my first blogs, I think, was like 2008, 2009, something like that. So since you already had some background with it and even getting back into it, can you talk a little bit about what were your struggles and the pain points and things that, either in the beginning that you had issues with, or like even getting back into it, you're like, oh, I got to do this again. What was that thing?
Okay, so when it came down to keyword research, that was an area I struggled in because some of the information I was gathering was coming from different sources. And so I wasn't sure exactly what ranking or the competition that I should be looking for. And I was also using Google AdWords at the time. I was just using their platform. So the platform that you talk about in the training, I wasn't familiar with. which I must say is excellent. It makes things so much
We love Long Tail Pro. Yes, we do.
Okay, so I can mention it. Yes. Oh my God. Long Tail
And
Pro
I
is
all the time. Like, I know it's a small investment, but it's probably one of the most worthwhile. You know, we run full businesses, so I invest in a whole lot of things.
yes.
You know, but that is one of the best investments. You know, I keep my Long Tail Pro like for life.
Yes. I mean, you get in that thing and you just start typing. You're like, oh my God.
Mhm.
So yes. So the keywords, and then something that I'm still working through is backlinking. So back when I started before and still currently, that's an area that I kind of dropped off with. And so I'm still trying to work through the backlinking, figuring out how to do it, because I know that that means everything to showing up in the search engines. So
yeah, you got to win in that popularity contest.
yeah.
So now that you've started, you've gone through the program, you started, you switched to the other site, you started working on that. Tell me, you know, what has happened? How does it help your business and help you?
Okay, so what it meant is it gave me an extra avenue to focus on. So one of the things that I do now is confidence coaching. And I know if we're focusing a lot on social media, it looks like everybody is out there winning, getting what they want in life. But when I started seeing how many people were searching for confidence, my mind was blown. It's a whole new world when you go on the back end and look for things. You're not just looking at all these visuals and what people are posting. People are out there and they're struggling in areas of confidence. And so it introduced me to a whole new market segment that I could serve.
I love that. And I've seen some of your posts. I think I would tell you, like, that should be a blog post.
Yeah, you do.
Because, you know, I'm hashtag stalker coach. I'm telling you about stuff. But I've seen some of your posts, and I could see like the change in the language and the change of the focus. And sometimes, like you said, you know, it's just that little tweak. And I went through the same thing with Online Boutique Source, that I could have talked about retail. I could have talked about e-commerce. I could have talked about a lot of words that we call online sales, but the one that was open was Online Boutique. So yeah, I've been there. But that is one of the things, like, you really do find that little hole for you to kind of go into and grow into, which is so important. I know you said that in the beginning, like, you know, we want to talk about that, how you can find things that are untapped that you don't normally see. So we talked a bit about, you know, SEO and your journey through SEO. What tools, like what experience with the program did you think helped you out the most in moving forward? We know keywords and learning Long Tail Pro, but overall with the program, what do you think helped you out the most from the Mastermind?
To see how simple it is to do. And there is something key that you taught me that I will be 100% honest and transparent with everybody that's going to see this. I don't listen to it all the time, but when I do, I know it's going to change everything. You told me to do SEO first. Always think about the SEO. Start with the SEO content, then reverse engineer, take the content, and then kind of work backwards to social media, and it helps with everything. I don't do it all the time, honestly, but you know, that is a true gem, something that I took away because it helps to frame my mind, like, okay, so here's this blog post, here's this article, and from this I can break down different sentences and different sections from it, and then there's my social media content, so I'm not just constantly working and doing content over and over again.
Yeah, that I live by. You know, I live by that. Yes. Or doing the opposite. If you do have some gems that didn't make it to your site, you know, you take it and you put it on your site, but using that work all throughout, so you have that consistent message. I live by that. Yeah. I was nervous when you were like, but one thing you told me, I was like, oh
yeah. It's just priceless information for real. Because we all talk about the struggle of this entrepreneurial thing and the waves, and you know, so we're trying to figure out how we can get everything done efficiently.
Yes,
that's one way I know.
Definitely having some of those type of tips definitely help. Last kind of question I wanted to ask you. So if somebody is thinking about, should I get into this program? Is it going to help me? Should I invest? What would you tell them?
I would tell them 100%, 100% yes. Okay, so everybody think outside of where we are right now and where you are in your journey. Social media is cool, social media is in, but look how long Google has been around versus how long some of these platforms have been around. Think about it as in you don't want to constantly have to chase people. I know that that's what we're taught as marketers. We ask for the sale. You know, we have the sales conversations, but imagine your life if you could just have people type in some keywords and you pop up on that number one spot on Google. What would that do for your life? So yes, absolutely.
I love that. What would that do for your life? Yes. I love that. You might hear me say that on the webinar. Well, Ashley, I want to thank you so much. I want to thank you for being in the program. I want to thank you for rocking with me and trusting me with your SEO and your site, and for sharing with us your journey. Because like I said before, it's so important not just to hear about the program, but also to hear about other entrepreneurs who are just like us out there getting this done, how it's helping them, and moving along the SEO journey, because it is a journey. It is, just like everything else. It's, you learn it, you do it, you grow it. It's a journey. So I really appreciate you taking the time to share that with us and talk to us about it.
Thank you for everything.
You're welcome. You're welcome.